We all have dream cars. My dream car has always been a 90s Corvette. We all have cars. No. Most of you guys do have cars. We dream the day that we could drive around in that sweet car, enjoying the comfort, the prestige of other people looking at us in it. But I don't have $60K plus sitting around to blow on a car, and I'd rather not go deep into debt to pay for a car that I actually can't afford to keep. But what if I told you that you could own a luxury car for only $10,000? When I talk about luxury cars, I'm talking about cars that have what are typically considered luxury features. Things like heated seats, nicer interiors, great trim, sound dampening so you can't hear the car so well, the whole nine. Luxury cars also tend to have a little bit more pep than your average car. There's also a certain cachet that comes with luxury cars and luxury car brands. When you see a Mercedes driving down the road, you feel just like a certain type of way. Maybe you want the other guy to feel a type of way when they see you driving around. If that's so, let's continue. Today I'm going to be talking about two makes specifically, Mercedes and Lexus. You can sub in basically any other major luxury car brand for this because these tips are going to be more general. When I say you can spend $10,000 and own a luxury car, I mean you could spend $10,000 and own a luxury car that you can drive. Seems pretty obvious. This is not talking about the cost of long-term maintenance, although I'll talk about that later as well. I'm just saying you can spend $10,000 and drive a luxury car that is yours. I do have one caveat. Most of the cars I'm going to be talking about today are a little older. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you could get a 2020 Mercedes S-Class for only $10,000. That being said, most luxury car features hold up pretty well, so it's not a huge deal. If you did want to get a brand new luxury car from the factory, you're just going to have to make some more money. Now, let's get into it. If there was one takeaway from this video that I would want you to have, it would be that you can't have everything. If you want to get a luxury car for cheaper than retail, you're going to have to take some trade-offs. I found there's three main criteria that you're looking at when you're buying a used luxury car. You're looking for a car that has low mileage, good luxury features that you're looking for, and that's like actually running. You could start it up and drive it around. At $10,000, you're going to have to pick two. You want your luxury car to have low mileage because you're less likely to run into problems. All cars have problems as they age, and luxury cars are no exception. The problem is that luxury cars are more expensive to service than normal cars. Even if you do your own maintenance, it can be hard to source parts and manuals. When your car has a problem at high mileage, and it will, it's going to cost you a lot as a luxury car. So as a luxury. You'd also like to get nice luxury features in your luxury car. If you get the most basic luxury car models that don't have a lot of luxury features, you're basically just getting a normal car. At that point, you could just get like a nice Accord or Camry that would suit your needs. Finally, you want the car to be running. This one's kind of obvious. If it's not running, then you can pay someone else to fix it, which is going to cost you more money, or you can fix it yourself. Like we have an engine replacement course, for example. Even if you fix it yourself, it's going to cost you a lot of time and it'll cost you a little bit more money, but it's one of the few ways where you can get into some of the higher end cars in newer years and with nice luxury features. Let me give you some examples of what I mean by picking two. If you have a car that has low mileage and great luxury features, but it doesn't run, you typically have a salvage car. Now, these take a lot of work or money, depending on which one you pick, to get up and running. But once you do, you have a nice luxury car that'll last a long time and has all the features that you're looking for. If you buy a car that has low mileage and runs, but has little to no luxury features, then congratulations. You just bought a normal car. There's a lot of good things about buying normal cars, no problems with that, but that's not really what this video is about, so we're going to ignore that option. If you buy a car that has great luxury features and it runs, but it has high miles, you're buying a time bomb. Now, these ones are the most common of the three. You can find these all over the place, but when it needs maintenance, and it will definitely need maintenance eventually, it's going to be very expensive, and you're getting up to the point in the car's lifespan where it's going to need more major repairs. At that point, you're running into dangerous territory because you might not be able to afford to fix the car. Let's talk examples. I found a 2000 Mercedes S-Class on Craigslist. It only had 86,000 miles, which is pretty good. The owner had it listed as like new, which means that it's somewhere between brand new and the junkyard because it's Craigslist. People can say whatever they want. The price, $9,000. Now, 86,000 miles for $9,000, that's a pretty good deal, but that's really low for how old the car is. The car's 22 years old. That averages out to about 4,000 miles a year, which is a little bit suspicious to me. It makes me think maybe they rolled back the odometer at some point. Even if the owner is telling the truth, though, it's from the year 2000, so most of the luxury features are going to be way out of date. It's very close to just buying a normal car. I saw a 2005 Mercedes C-Class on Carfax for about $6,000, which is pretty good. It had 110,000 miles, and it had a lot of the luxury features that you're looking for, things like heated seats and even heated mirrors. The problem is that not only is 2005 a little old, but Carfax had it listed as having a different mileage number than what's on the odometer. That's really suspicious. It makes me think that there are major issues that are being hidden on this car. And it is a little old, and 110,000 miles is not low, so you still are likely going to have to fix some things on it. But if you're okay with those things, it's a pretty good deal. It's only $6,000. Auto Tempest turned up a 2013 Mercedes C-Class for a price that I don't remember, for only about $8,500. It has a ton of nice features. It's a Mercedes. It's a newer year. It looks beautiful. But it has 145,000 miles. You're really getting up into the danger zone there. But if you're okay with taking a little bit of risk, it's a cool car. Again, we're picking we're picking high mileage, but you get a running luxury car with great features. Now, let's talk about some cars that have great luxury features that you're looking for and low mileage, which means that we're looking at cars that don't run. We're looking at salvage cars. I'm going to be looking at Copart, which is a salvage car site. Now, as soon as you start looking at salvage cars, you're going to be taking on a lot more risk. Copart doesn't give the exact details on the damage that each car has, so you're going to be hoping that you can deal with all the issues that might come up with the car, either by paying someone else to do it or by fixing it yourself. If you end up getting it fixed by someone else, there's a good chance you're going to be over the $10K that we're looking at. And the lighting got really bad. You can get a 2015 Lexus RX 350 for only $7,000. That was the buy it now price, so you could even get it cheaper than that. It's a luxury SUV, and it even has 0 miles listed on the odometer. There's only one problem. It's kind of maybe totaled. You need to do some heavy body work to get the car up and running, and that's assuming that there's no actual issues in the engine compartment itself. These repairs are likely going to cost you a few $1,000s, but it's hard to tell for sure without knowing the actual damage. This is the risk that you take in getting a salvage car. Why do the luxury cars be doing like ES? And I started doing the video from the basement all of a sudden. You could also get a 2017 Lexus IS 300T for under $10K. Nice. It even runs, technically speaking, but it's got major water damage. They don't know for sure, but it looks like it was in a flood or something. You'd have to rip out all the seats and replace them because they're ruined. And that's assuming that the water damage didn't do anything serious to the car's running. Copart just says the car can run, not necessarily that it's highway worthy. There's also a little front end damage, which is not specified, and we hate front end damage around here. But if you could do everything yourself, you would have a luxury car for under $10,000 that only has 36,000 miles, which is a crazy deal. Now, I've mentioned some things casually that I want to talk about in more detail. Doing major car work is not trivial. Swapping an engine or doing body work is hard, and it takes a long time. You might get a luxury car in the end, but you're going to have to spend a lot of nights and weekends to get there. And that's assuming you actually get to it to fix it. Could just as easily become a project car if it just sits in the garage. If you end up buying a car that has high mileage, there's a good chance you'll be buying a car that you can't really afford to maintain. Even if you can afford to buy a Mercedes, every time it breaks down, you're going to have to pay a lot of money to fix it. If you're a gambler, you might be okay with that. But if you're looking for a reliable car, it's really dangerous to buy a high mileage luxury car. So, you can definitely get a luxury car for under $10,000. I gave you a few different ways you can get into one. The thing is, you might not want to. You might be able to pay for a luxury car, but can you afford to own one? You might be able to buy a 2,000-mile Mercedes, but can you afford to fix it when it inevitably breaks down? Around the mile ranges we talked about, you're going to likely start running into serious engine and transmission problems. If you end up buying a luxury car that you need to fix up, do you actually have the time to do that? Are you going to spend all of your nights and weekends for weeks on end to actually get the car up and running and not let it sit in the garage and become a project car? Are you willing to set aside all of your free time for the hard and stressful work of fixing up your own car? Are you willing to take on that amount of risk? So you might be able to buy a luxury car, but for a lot of people, they're not going to really want to. If it's something that you're really interested in, super passionate about, sweet, go for it. But but ultimately, luxury cars are not super attainable at $10,000. So on that happy note, thank you for watching the video. You can go ahead and leave us a comment if you agree, disagree, if any of these cars stuck out to you as cool, bad, dumb, awesome. Leave us a like if you liked the video. Go ahead and subscribe. We have other social media accounts you can follow us on. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We also have a website. Check us out at bigred.media. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.